The views and opinions on the Craig L. Hayes Show do not necessarily reflect those of Westgate Resorts, ownership, or management. And now, on with the show. This is the Craig L. Hayes Show.
And we're back, episode 3 with Jerry Helmuth, and we're going to carry on and talk a little bit about his time and his life working at Caesar's Palace, a little bit of that. Then we'll move on to how he left there, and then I brought him over here to have a grand and illustrious career here too. And
Grand and illustrious.
Yeah,
I didn't leave Caesar's Palace.
Caesar's Palace left every. Oh.
They kicked me out because they tore the showroom down, and they told us, don't let the door hit you on the ass when you leave. So they tore the showroom down to build whatever they built there. And when they tore that down, I worked there for, I think, about a little over 6 years. And it was beautiful. It was like working in a gold mine, however much you could carry out, because we did stuff all over the hotel. It was beautiful. And when they closed the showroom out, I cried real tears. And then, what do you do when you are a stagehand in Las Vegas? You go on the bounce. So that's what I did. And I bounced around and did conventions and did whatever we had to do to make it happen. What year? Gadzooks, Craig, what year was it that Manilow loaded in here?
We started loading in 2004.
2004, holy cow.
Yeah.
So
you got a couple of years. You did Penn and Teller for a while there too, right?
Yeah, I was doing Penn and Teller. Pat Bash had that payroll. He called me up and said, we're loading in Penn and Teller at the Rio, and I want you to come and be the flyman. And he said, it's going to be there for a month, and then we don't know what's going to happen after that. So I said, yeah, thanks, Pat. So we went over and did that. And they did the month, and then they rebooked them for some more. And that just turned into a forever thing for them. And I was working that. And contractually, it was not like the contract at Caesar's or here. It was not a 10-show-a-week thing. It was a 4-hour call every night. And it was, after a while, it was like 2 weeks on and a week off, or 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off, or 3 weeks on and a week, and then they would go do something for a month. And really, it was like a part-time job.
So as a typical stagehand, you're working other calls in other places during the day, conventions, whatever, and then going over there and pulling rope at night. And
Yeah, I would, as a typical stagehand, I was a whore.
I've told people that before. I said, we're just whores.
I'm a big whore, and I did everything I could do to make a living. And I was still working Penn and Teller when I came over here and started to load in Barry at that time. And then you guys were looking for a flyman, and I put in my bid for that. And I guess I fooled you, because here I was.
Well, I'd heard some good things about you. More bad, but, some good. And I believe the good stuff. So I'm an optimistic.
Make a parenthetical remark here right now. Yeah. And that is that Craig and I have known each other for a very long time, and I've known his family. He knows my family. And we could not really be more diametrically opposed in a lot of things, and in politics and such. And I have my feelings about his views, and he has his feelings about my views. But the thing is that we can talk about it with each other and not go for each other's throats. And I respect his views, and I hope he respects my views. And every time I talk to him, I like to think that he'll hear something from me that he hadn't thought of before, because every time I talk to him, God, don't tell him I said this, but I usually hear something that I hadn't thought of before. So it's possible to do that.
Absolutely.
It's possible.
Yeah,
to
we've
have-
never
have
had a disrespectful conversation. We've disagreed vehemently on things,
Yeah,
but never disrespectfully disagreed with each other.
yeah. And I mention that parenthetically just to let people know that it is possible to have disagreements ideologically with people and not want to go blow up their house, right?
Yep.
Everybody, we're all people, and we're all creatures walking this earth. And politics, don't let it run your life.
No, absolutely.
Okay, that was
Anyways.
my parenthetical. This moment has been brought to you by.
By the makers of whatever.
Where were we? Caesars?
We're here now.
We're here
We're
now.
loading in Barry Manilow for his first run. He actually started in 2005.
Yeah.
But we started to load in November of 2004.
Okay.
So, and you came over right about then. I think you were right in. I don't know if you were right at the very beginning, but you were pretty
No,
close.
I wasn't at the very beginning. You already had the letter M up. That big
Yeah.
proscenium
Yeah,
piece.
Leo Hawk was running that part of that. So,
God bless Leo. Leo, I love you. So letter M was already hung on 3 battens, for God's sake. And we did the rest of the show. And then I got to stay and work that show. And
all shows closed, including Barry Manilow. After 5 years, he left,
he left. And
then you stayed around for a little while longer until they really started slicing and dicing.
yeah, and the hotel at that time was engaged in some sort of entertainment philosophy that I could not figure out because the showroom just sat dark for a long time, did it not?
Yeah.
And we used to talk about this, going, why don't they book something? Book in a band, book in a comic, whatever. It's not that much. You got to bring people into the casino.
Yeah, that was that time period when the hotel went from a franchised Hilton, Las Vegas Hilton, into
The
receivership to LVH is what it was called because Goldman Sachs owned it, and they were just trying to keep it running until they could sell it.
And I got to a point where every time I would come in, I would think, today's the day. I'm going to park and I'm going to see that they've boarded up the doors with plywood, because it was like a mausoleum in the casino, and they weren't booking shows. And I thought to myself, I've been here for a long time now, and half the world thinks I'm dead, because if you're not out there and people don't see your face for a long time, they forget who you are.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, this place is going to close. I need to get out and let people know I'm still alive. So then I left here, bid my fond adieu, and went out and bounced around again. And ended up working for the hall. And I got hired to be a business agent for the business representative. And then this was never part of my career trajectory. This was never my, grand plan. But I ended up being president of the union and retired out of that. So at the end of my term, I was old enough to take an early retirement. I did. And 2 months later, there was a global pandemic, and the world shut down anyway. So, timing there.
Sometimes it happens just right.
It did. It did for me on that. Again, not something I ever planned out. It just happened. Ran for office and got elected twice. First time to fill the remainder of the term from the previous president, who left to pursue greener pastures with the International. And then after that, I ran unopposed and did that term and managed to live through that in spite of some people.
Yeah.
Working for the hall, working in that capacity, either in the business representative's office as a business agent or as the president, doing that, you get a whole different perspective on what we do. Because when you're just working on the job, you don't think about how did this contract come to be. You don't think about all the places that we don't work. You think about, well, I'm working today and I'll work tomorrow. But when you're on the other side, when you're working for the union, which means you're working for the members, then you have to think like that. You have to put the benefit of the membership first. And that means for the benefit of all the membership, not the benefit of one or two people, but the benefit of, back then, 1,500 members.
Yeah.
And the other 3,000 who work through the hall but aren't members yet, that we want to become members. And so it's a different slant on life.
Yeah, the responsibility is completely different. Yeah, and you got to take a lot more different perspective on that stuff, and everyone has to understand that when you're the president of the local and so of a union, it's just a microcosm of a political, any political system.
Absolutely.
There's stuff that's going on that you have to know how you're maneuvering through it, and you still have the guys you got to get to be on your side and show up to meetings, show up because we've got to get some of this stuff done. It's still the same political stuff that goes on, whether you're in Carson City or Washington D.C. or whatever.
Right. Our union is just American society in microcosm, and you have to recognize it as such and work on that level for the benefit of the membership. And that means getting better terms and conditions and wages in the contracts, getting more contracts to broaden our jurisdiction, realizing that no contract is perfect. You never get everything you want, and management never gets everything they want. And it's by design. And you realize that you go in with the life of the contract. And when the contract is expired, you go back to the table and you try to improve it.
Yep.
And that's how you work on it. And that's why when I started in '79, I was making $9 and change an hour, and I thought that was just wonderful money. And now we're making substantially more per hour. And that happened not because management looked at us and said, you guys are just wonderful, we love you, we want to pay you this much money. Because that never happens.
No, not in any business.
So we had to work to get those things happening. And we continue to work. Whoever will be in the administration, the people who are in the administration now, they're all great, they're working hard, and I lived through it.
No, and it's not easy. I had been asked several times to go and be a part of the political system out there, and I was always, nope. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make the room I'm in charge of a jewel that it'll be the leader of, all contracts, all rooms. Everybody should get paid like we get paid here. To a certain degree, I got that to happen, so especially when the wardrobe parity.
We had been working for parity for wardrobe for many years, and I think it's pretty well across the board right now. There may be one or two places. The nature of entertainment in Las Vegas is altered into something to be unrecognizable as it was 30 years ago, let alone 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have the showrooms that we used to. The hotels don't have showrooms. It used to be, back then, Every hotel had a showroom. Every showroom had a show. 2 shows a night, 7 nights a week. It was either headline status with comics or singers, or it was some big tits and feathers review,
Yep.
like Jubilee or Casino de Paris or the Lido.
Whatever it was, that's how it was. Yeah.
And those were beautiful. They were great. And it was a shining moment in time for us, and we loved it. And now the majority of the money that we make as a labor force probably comes through conventions.
Probably 90%. Would you think it's around 90%?
I don't know what it is now. It was at least that much when I was in office, and that was 5-6 years ago. So conventions. And you can make buckets of money on conventions, but it's not a showroom. And it's not like this convention is going to run for another 5 years. It's going to be gone in 2 weeks. And then you better hope you get on the next convention.
Yep.
And so, like I say, the nature of what we do has changed. We still have some showrooms, this place here. I'm glad to see that they're starting to fill in the empty spots in the schedule, and I hope that they aggressively continue to book acts and fill those spots, because it's a beautiful room, especially with the lights down. And there's, what else do we have here in town? So we do shows at the stadium because we got in there.
Yeah.
And that just didn't happen. There was a lot of people behind the scenes that had to make that work. We work pretty much almost everywhere in town, but we don't work for those hotels. Again, that has altered. So we work through third-party payrollers in places that will not sign contracts with us. Mandalay Bay. Love to have a brick-and-mortar contract with Mandalay
That'd
Bay.
be great there. Boy, that'd be great.
That's never going to happen.
No.
Realistically. But
Not with MGM owning it now, yeah.
But we work in there every day. We have people in that hotel every day. Right across the street from here is the convention center, the LVCC. We do stuff in there all the time. If there's a big show, we're there somewhere. Sometimes a lot, sometimes not that much. So we're working in places that we don't have contracts with because we have contracts with third-party payrollers. And some of our people understand that, and some people just hate those people because they don't get everything they think they deserve from those people. Encore was like the great Satan for a lot of our people for a long time, and I had to explain to them, if it wasn't for Encore, if it wasn't people like Encore, if it wasn't Encore, it would be somebody else, but they're everywhere. You go to Mandalay Bay, you work for Encore. You go to the Sands Expo, you work for Encore. You're not going to get a contract with the Venetian. You're not going to get a contract with Mandalay Bay. We got a contract with Encore. Not everything you like, it's not everything I like either. It's an imperfect world. In the meantime, we're working. And we try to make it better next time the contract comes around. So some people get it, some people don't. 'Twas ever thus.
Yep. And that's the way it works.
That's
Yeah,
the way it
it's
Dun, dun, dun.
here's reality, people. Here is reality.
Afraid so, yeah. And now I'm retired, happily retired, and I'm receiving a beautiful pension. And the pension exists because of the work of people who have all since passed, Fred Davis, Nels Hansen, Gordon Coker, and others, Michael McDonald. The pension is a beautiful thing,
Yep.
and it's an employer contributed pension, nothing out of your pocket. The more money you make, the more money you accumulate. It's beautiful. They put it in my bank account once a month. I don't even have to go to the bank.
And even being retired, I still drug you back here to work.
Because I'm over 65, I can work whenever I want to. And when I was a younger man, like I mentioned earlier, I was a whore and never said no to anything. And now my favorite word is no. The people call me up, Jerry, would you like to come and do this? I say, no, thank you, no. And sometimes I like to do it. I love to be a spot op. Hardest thing I do is walk up the stairs to the spot booth.
Yeah. It's good having you there with Don Toto. Pulled him back out of retirement and put him back to work. And
Don is a wonderful man, and I am honored to be running a spot next to him.
And to me, let's grab some of these guys that retired, that just want to come in and do some spots and put a couple extra dollars in their pocket, a couple days a month, and everybody's happy.
Yeah, it's not cocaine money anymore, so it's okay.
It's just coffee and donut money or whatever.
Well, I got coffee money.
No, it's awesome what you've done throughout your career here in Las Vegas. And any last words you want to talk about? Anything you want to tell people? I always try to tell people, this is an amazing business. I couldn't have picked a better life, as far as career.
Well, to be honest, if I was a young man, again, wondering what to do and where to go, knowing what I know now, I don't know that I would come to Las Vegas and go into the Stagehands Union, because what we do now is all conventions and such. And again, I say you can make a ton of money on that, but you're living show to show.
Yeah.
When I was in showrooms, we knew it was going to be there all the time, and it was in a showroom. And to me, in this business, the best place to be is in a showroom.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
to me, the best place to be on a showroom, on the stage, is on the rail. I loved being a flyman. I loved it. And now I can't do that anymore. I physically can't. I can't give it 100% anymore. And if you can't give it 100%, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I can, now I'm a spot op on occasional shows, occasionally. And that's fine with me. I love doing that.
Yeah, like I say, you get to come out, you do, like if you're doing Manilow, it's 6 shows a month.
Yeah.
Make $100 a night,
That's about all I can stand.
yeah. You do your $600 a month extra, boom. That's nice to have in your pocket extra every month.
It's nice. That's grandkid money.
I've done nothing since I retired.
Well, I mean, that's your choice,
Yeah.
though, too.
Yeah, I really don't want to.
That's
It's
your choice. Like you said,
I'm doing this. This is what I do. This is what I'm enjoying.
Like I said, my favorite word now is no.
Yep.
I can turn stuff down. I never did that before.
Yeah.
And you didn't either, because that's how you make a living in this business. You don't turn work down. You take everything you can get.
Yep. You turn down work a couple of times, they find somebody else to do it, and you're out of the loop.
There you go.
You got to say yes. It doesn't matter. You just came off of a 17-hour shift, and they want you to do another 4 or 5 or 6, and you go, okay, I'll do it. We all were there. We've all done it. No, it's been an awesome business. But like you say, if I was coming in right now, I would not go in to be a stagehand, because I want to be a stagehand. I don't want to be a convention tech.
I wanted to work on a stage.
That was me, showbiz.
And
Not convention work, showbiz.
where are you going to go to work in a theater? You're going to go move to New York City and try to get into Local 1
Yeah.
and work on
Good luck.
Broadway? Good luck
Good
with
luck
that.
on that.
Or you can go to Chicago or
Same
to
thing.
LA or
Same thing. It's all the same thing. Good luck with any of that.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it could happen. You can do it. You'll starve for a while. You should know some people before you get there. And you better have a pretty extravagant skill set. But it's difficult
Yep.
to break into. And I got lucky in a lot of ways. Right place, right time for myself. And I'm grateful that I had that luck.
Yep. But you had the right attitude. A lot of it's attitude. That's why I try to, we'd do those classes here once in a while.
Yeah.
I say, don't try to impress the guys that are in a showroom, or whatever. Don't try to impress the bosses when you're coming up new.
No.
Just do what they say, have a good attitude, and when you're done with the job they gave you, come back and say, what can I do next? That's all we want from you.
And everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah.
So learn from your mistakes, but own your mistakes too. Own them. I fell asleep on the rail at the Riviera. And I slept through the final cue of the night, which was House Curtain Inn. And it was Debbie Reynolds. Debbie Reynolds, and I'm up on the rail, and it was one of those shows, 2 cues, curtain out,
Oh,
an hour
brutal.
later, curtain in. And it was the second show, and I'm tired, and I'm whatever, and I'm sitting up there all by myself, and I'm nodding. I just fell asleep sitting in a chair, which is a skill set that I developed a long time ago, to be able to sleep
Yeah.
sitting up in a chair. But I'm up there, and she closes with Tammy. She's singing Tammy, Tammy, Tammy's in love. And then she takes a pose and a bow, and the curtain is supposed to come in nice and slow right in front of her, and the band is vamping behind her, and the flyman is up on the rail sleeping, and no curtain. And I wake up at the last second. I go, oh God. And I make a mad dash, and she stands up and she goes, well, if they want me to do another song, I'll do another song, because she was a pro. God bless you, Debbie.
Yep.
And everybody in the band is looking up at me like I'm going to kill you. I want to go. And I'm thinking, uh-oh, that's it. I'm gone. I lost this job. So she does another song, and then she does the bows again, and this time the curtain actually comes in because the flyman happened to wake up. And I come downstairs, I climb down the ladder after the show, and I walk over to the stage manager's office, Bob Smith, and he's sitting there behind his desk with this scowl on his face. Doesn't say anything to me. And I'm in the doorway, and I look at him, and I said, I'm sorry, Bob. I messed up. I'm sorry. And he doesn't say anything. And I turn around, and I think, well, that's it. I'm done. And I get like one step away, and he says, Helmuth. And I turn around, and he goes, 7:30 tomorrow. Don't ever do it again. And
Yes, sir.
I said, thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob. Okay, thank you. And I left. And I'm pretty sure that the reason that he did that was because I went down there and I said, I messed up. It's my
Yep.
fault.
Yep.
Nothing else happened.
Absolutely.
You know, he was waiting for me to come down with some big bullshit story. And there was no bullshit story.
No. Be honest. Tell the truth, Hip. Oh, I screwed that one up. Sorry about that. No, we've all done it. It's not a big deal.
I fell asleep paging Anne Murray's cable, too.
Well, her songs can put you to sleep because they're all this low-key
man,
stuff and
she
stuff.
sat down for a ballad, and I'm sitting there next to the monitor board on stage left, and I'm on a stool, and I just put my head down on my chest and fell asleep and woke up when she finished the song and was walking over to stage right, and the cable was zipping through my hands. I'm lucky I didn't fall off the stool.
Well, Jerry, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you taking time out of your day and your week and your heavy workload and stopping by and
Was that sarcasm?
a little bit, yeah, you know.
Yeah. Well, thank
You
you.
know, us retired guys can talk like this. Come on, man.
Thank you for having me on, Craig, and letting me share space on your show with all your crackpot theories that you put out there too. But thanks for that. He's rolling his eyes at me.
Whatever. Commie. No, I appreciate you, Jerry. Thanks so much for coming in and doing this. It's I want people to understand the stuff we do and what it takes to do the stuff we do. You know.
And people should know the effort it took for me to not swear when I was telling some stories.
That's a true fact right there. I will say yes.
I'll tell you the
absolutely.
Shecky Green story when the mics are off.
Yeah, I know the Shecky Green story.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Anyways, folks, it's been a great show with Jerry, and I'm looking forward to doing the next one and shortly with another person coming I've known a long time. We've both is a friend with both of us. His name's Paul Chadwick. He'll be coming up in just a little bit. So until then, Talbot, take it away.
This is the Craig L. Hayes Show.